show us as the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Hey, we can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Mark It Down podcast. My name is Nick Cummings, joined by Matt Gascone, who randomly snuck in here at the last second as we were starting, and James DeSanti. Back here once again to review another episode of AEW Collision. We had Megan Bayne making her Collision debut, and wait, hang on. I am currently receiving word that is what we're not reviewing tonight. Apparently, there was another show, the Royal Rumble. Okay, all right. So apparently, the Rumble. Apparently, we will be reviewing the WWE Royal Rumble. Guys, we didn't talk about this before the show. We probably should have. Which one would you like to start with?
I feel like we got to go with the one that everyone's talking about. We got to go with the big main event. No pun intended. But I think we got to go with the main event of the show, the Men's Royal Rumble.
Considering my attire, I believe you are correct. And we go into the WWE Men's Royal Rumble as we saw Jey Uso eliminate John Cena. Sorry, me and my brother were doing Santino bits all night. John Cena to win the 2025 Royal Rumble match. There was a lot that happened in this. It was a surprise. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I had allegedly leaked list sent to me a couple of months ago, and I've been keeping it in my pocket. Didn't happen at all. But I, from that point, had just assumed John Cena was going to win. And it came down to those last two guys, and I cannot tell you how excited I was that it ended up being Jey Uso winning. They are apparently strapping the rocket to Jey, and I was watching the press conference while I was waiting to start, and he was saying, I was in there with a lot of heavy hitters, and I am now a heavy hitter. So, James, so I give Matt a second to fix his camera. A lot of stuff happened in this match, but and we'll get to that in a second. But what does this mean now going with Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble as we head into WrestleMania season?
Well, first of all, Rev, if you would just give me a moment, I need to express how sad I am that my hero, John Cena, has lost. I was rooting for him.
You were this close to greatness.
I was this close to greatness. But alas, no Cena win. Cena's WrestleMania dreams are dashed. Darn.
So far.
They're dashed, Rev. They are dashed.
If you are my friend,
we don't want him to win the Elimination Chamber.
Could they be dashing Cody Rhodes?
Whatever the fuck keeps him away from the main event of WrestleMania. Whatever the fuck keeps him away from the 17th World Championship at an event I can't attend.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about this.
You think I'm joking? I don't want Cena to win a single match until May.
I completely forgot that James has it out for John Cena for the first time in his life because he can't go to WrestleMania. This completely changes the context of how I'm going to host this episode. And hey, keep talking. I have to rewire my brain really quick.
I spoke to John privately several weeks ago, and we discussed how him winning the 17th world title won't mean anything to him if I'm not there. So it's only fair that he doesn't actually succeed. He's not throwing in the towel. He's not phoning it in, but he doesn't really want to win it if I can't be there with him.
Did you give him the $100 back when you saw him, or?
With inflation, it was like 125.
It would be if John Cena won without James being there. It would be a hollow victory.
Exactly. You couldn't even not only wouldn't you be able to really enjoy it, you couldn't even see it. So just no, He could win it at Backlash. Realistically, it would be amazing if he just won it at SummerSlam, an event in, like, even my fucking laundry machine, even my washer agrees. It's tuning in to me saying, yes, John shouldn't win it until SummerSlam. First of all, what up,
I would
Dev?
tell you, hey, Dev. James, I would tell you could turn that off, but I know you were so technologically inept that you probably can't.
I need both hands. I need my arm to do it. I can't
It's one button and you hold it, but again, you probably can't figure that out.
Quickly, on a personal note, I'm sure James will appreciate that. My insurance court case, I will get another shoulder surgery, and insurance will have to cover it because those bastards were like, nope, and I'm like, yeah, this is totally like within the realm of insurance. Don't let me get Luigi on your ass. So
Jesus,
anyway,
we do not.
I'll be in a sling just as soon as you are.
Well, I wish you a speedy recovery.
And yeah, like you make whatever, like, what are they called? We do not condone yada yadas.
Matt, Danny in the comments is saying that you are very low. It's hard for people to hear you.
Yeah, I think you got to fix your mic. I don't know what's up with it, but take a minute, fix your mic, and we'll cover for you. In the meantime, James, I know you're very upset about seeing, or you're very happy.
So
about
upset.
But but the question I initially asked you was, what does this mean for Jey Uso going forward?
I don't know. I don't know what makes the most sense for Jey. He's already challenged unsuccessfully against Gunther. And it would the thought of a WrestleMania main event being a rematch for, what was it, on Raw? Was it on Raw or was it on a pay-per-view?
Was that a main event?
Saturday night main event.
For the main event of WrestleMania to be a rematch from Saturday night's main event just feels wrong. But at the same time, Cody Rhodes challenging, Jey Uso challenging Cody Rhodes. All right, Matt, you cannot lick stuff on here. It just it is inappropriate.
Matt, look, I know we're monetized now, but that's got to go behind the paywall. All right.
Yeah.
we can't be licking stuff. We can't be showing our underwear like Eric was.
I just finished.
Yeah.
And
you can't be saying that either.
It's innuendo.
I finished the ice cream. How's my volume? Is it any better?
No.
Sorry. You're very muffled, but it's technically closer than what it was before. But Jey Uso challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship in the main event of WrestleMania is not something I can wrap my head around. And I'll be honest, I'm setting myself up for failure here. There's a part of me that isn't convinced Jey is going to make it to Mania. We've seen Royal Rumble winners lose the opportunity before. We've seen Royal Rumble winners cash in ahead of time before. There's a part of me that doesn't feel like this is super secure yet.
Man, I know you're right, but that would be so lame.
I agree, because it's a waste of a Royal Rumble winner, and that's never okay. Like, I'd rather the Royal Rumble winner lose at Mania than just not even get the shot. But it's still so surreal to think that Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, will actually main event WrestleMania.
I think he could. He did technically, right? That 1 year with the tag match. I think it was night one, but
it was night one, and it's very different.
I know, but I don't know. Look, I am a very big Jey Uso guy, obviously. I came out here with the Lays and the Bloodline hat. Shout out to Scutch. I think he could do it. I think he has the backing, and and Mr. Penguin out here backing me up. Jey can finish a story. There is a story for him to finish as Matt goes to fix his mic issues. He'll be back in a minute. I do think there is a story for Jey to finish. But
I agree.
But to be a true main eventer, he has to win the big title. All right, so all right. As we have become monetized, which is a thing, we have to put up the super chats, and
comments.
producer boy came in and fucking keep licking that. We like it, and I mean that's my thing. If we're gonna lick things, you guys have to pay for it. So.
No, there you go. I got Oreos.
You're getting dangerously close to OnlyFans, but
I will lick every Oreo for every super comment. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we get super comments, James will crack open an Oreo and lick the cream out of it.
I have no shame. But going back to Mr. Penguin, that Jey will finish his story. I'll be honest. I don't think the world title is Jey finishing his story. I think if Jey wins the world title, that's incredible. That's an extra chapter. But him finishing his story is him beating Roman in a one-on-one matchup, title or no title. It's him beating Matt. What do you got for us?
How's my sound now?
Perfect.
Welcome back.
Trying to be like polite to the other people in this place, so just try not to scream. And I think. Okay.
Well, I promise to do my best. I think that's the best I can say.
It's a Saturday night. I have 2 lays on. The hell you expect?
But yeah, I don't really know what to expect. I'm sure Roman is going to have something to say about this, and we're going to talk about Roman. We're going to talk about all the stories coming out of this Rumble, because there are many.
James is mad at Roman for the first time ever.
There's interesting stuff going on with this. Like definitely some layers we can peel back.
Yes.
Before I left there for a second, like I was watching with a few friends here, and when I was about to say yeet, when Jey Uso came out, I don't think there was a bigger pop of the night. Yeah. Like there was people like on his level, but I don't think anyone like got a bigger pop than no one. It was so it's like to say it's not deserved is definitely.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. There are a lot of people, even in this pod in our private chat, who are just like, Jey Uso is not main eventing WrestleMania. Like, people aren't going to care. People aren't going to want to watch. People are going to leave. It's like, are we forgetting the fact that he was getting the biggest reactions of the night tonight? Everything he did, the crowd was in support of him. And you could argue that it's because it's the Rumble. You could argue it's that people didn't want Cena to win. You could argue whatever. The fact of the matter is the crowd was there for him. All right, Danny is just coping right now. Like, Danny's saying, bro, his pop was not that big. Their crowd was unglued. The crowd was unhinged for Jey.
I'm going to say, we got to realize also, too, big stadium, we all know that the noise doesn't carry as well, even though it was indoors. But it doesn't carry as well, at least with the WWE mics. But yeah, no, he was. Come on, everybody was yeeting.
Was super into him. The crowd was yeeting. Every time he threw a punch, we got a massive yeet.
Merry yeet miss.
Merry yeet miss from Mr. Penguin.
I feel like Mr. Penguin is dressed up just like I am right now.
And knowing Mr. Penguin, it's not impossible. But yeah, no, as far as Jey Uso is concerned, congratulations. As far as Jey Uso is concerned, I am very excited and nervous for him moving forward. And as far as Jey Uso is concerned, take this huge win for what it is. He eliminated John Cena in the main event at Royal Rumble, in the Royal Rumble, to earn his spot in the main event of WrestleMania. That's huge no matter what happens tomorrow.
And John put him over after, too.
Yeah. Yep. John, who, and again, we should talk about John. I joke because of how much it's hurting me that I won't be at Mania. But the reality is, we're seeing Cena's many branches to Mania. All the roads to Mania are starting to limit themselves. This was a massive road blocked off now to get to Mania. The next one presumably will be Elimination Chamber. If he doesn't win at the Chamber, that's another road blocked off to get to Mania.
Well, may I say, I'm sorry to cut you off, Matt. I was very surprised that he didn't win tonight, Cena, because I didn't think he was going to be in the Chamber. Like, I don't know if he physically wanted to do that.
He's
So if he
advertised
is-
for it. He's advertised for the events, but that doesn't necessarily mean he would
Yeah.
have to wrestle in the
But
chamber.
No,
but
if he's going to be in the chamber, a lot of respect to him for going
Yeah.
through that. Like, he didn't have to. I'm sorry, Matt, I cut you off.
No, I was just saying, like, yeah, like Cena, like if he doesn't win in the chamber, then basically getting a title match at Mania is pretty much closed off unless they do like some kind of triple threat. So it is interesting. He's definitely lost something tonight. But biggest pops tonight would probably be Jey, Cena, Roman, and I'd say probably Joe Hendry. But like again, big. Wait, Joe Hendry got a big pop?
Yeah,
No,
of course
he did.
Joe Hendry got a big pop. Yeah.
Joe Hendry got a big pop.
Oh, no, I was doing the Joe Hendry
Oh,
turn. I just
can't-
couldn't turn around.
Can't hear
all the way.
Matt at all. Can't hear Matt at all.
Yeah.
It's because Matt doesn't have headphones, and every time we speak, we override him.
And it's becoming my funny gimmick. It's becoming my funny gimmick of the night to see how mad he gets every time Rev speaks over
Cut
him.
them off.
But go ahead, Matt.
Which is every time, but you know, it's like.
Sorry.
Well, let's move on. Do we want to start at the beginning of the night, or do we want to keep talking about Jey Uso and his options?
No, we got to talk about the men's Royal Rumble. You know,
Yeah,
we're
no,
here, we've talked about the winning, but there's other stuff in this Rumble that needs to be discussed.
There's
Sure.
a lot, including Joe Hendry, because I know James is very upset, or I assume James is very upset with Roman's entry because. Okay.
I have a feeling I know what he's doing, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, he goes. I know what he's doing now.
Yeah.
James, Joe Hendry came in to much applause, and he looked great there for a minute. And then Roman comes in, and not only does he run through a bunch of people, he immediately runs through Joe Hendry, and I believe Braun, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, he like basically no-sold a Braun spear and eliminated him.
Yeah.
So
Roman eliminated basically, I think, 4 people in quick succession.
yeah,
Braun Strowman, Joe Hendry.
2 of them were people who were important.
Yeah. Look, as far as Joe Hendry goes in this, I don't know how loudly I need to yell at TNA fans to understand.
Oh, sorry, I'm directing
gonna
that talk.
And there he is. Yeah, we
Oh.
we knew exactly what this was. The moment you hopped off.
Wait.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
All right, so we don't get these.
And we just got copyrighted.
No, we're good. I kept it under 5 seconds. We're fine.
There you go. I don't know how loudly I need to scream at TNA fans for them to realize that this partnership is not really going to benefit TNA, the brand. It's going to benefit individuals from TNA, but it is not going to benefit TNA, the brand, in the long run. We just saw there was a preview for it tonight on the Rumble pay-per-view on the premium live event for Evolve. WWE Evolve. That's what that is now. Evolve isn't Evolve. It's WWE Evolve. And for
Well,
a
they
company
bought
like
it, right?
Evolve, what?
They bought it, or
Go ahead, Matt.
So Evolve was great. Evolve Wrestling by Gabe Sapolsky, who used to run Ring of Honor.
Yep.
Started a new company called Evolve, and it was awesome. And they ended up having a partnership with WWE. And so you had guys like Fabian Eichner, who's Vinci in WWE. He was their world champ before the Street Profits got any gold in WWE or NXT. They were the Evolve Tag Team Champions. So they had a partnership, and they were great before the partnership. They were great after the partnership. And the rumor over 5 years ago was that this partnership was going to be like, we're going to have WWE, we're going to have NXT, and before you get to NXT, you're going to be in NXT Evolve. And it was like, okay, Evolve is great right now. The partnership is great. This can only get greater. And then just Evolve just like fucking vanished. It dissolved. It just like completely disappeared. And it's like, okay, they bought Evolve just to like completely eliminate it. And now Evolve's coming back. And my thinking is that I loved Evolve. Evolve was great. You can see it in our Instagram stories right now. There's a picture of me at an Evolve event with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. But the fact is that NXT isn't where it was 5 years ago. If you loved NXT, the black and gold, you would love Evolve. If you don't love NXT now, which is what a lot of us like, there are great things in NXT right now.
It's a different show, though.
The majority of it is not great. I can't imagine NXT Evolve being any good whatsoever because it's just going to be a watered down version of the current NXT. That's my take. And
quality aside, it's a WWE product now. It's not its own entity, and that's what matters. Jordynne Grace became the hottest thing after she appeared in the Rumble last year, and everybody was so happy. I was bouncing off the walls. I was so happy. And guess what? Where is she now?
You were jumping off. You were shouting from the rooftops. Like, you were thrilled with the previous TNA WWE relationship.
And now she's a WWE superstar. Had her contract amended so her contract with TNA could end earlier so she could become a WWE superstar. It was supposed to end in the summer, and she had it amended to end in January to be in the Rumble.
I have thoughts on her, but we'll talk about it when we do the
I love Jordynne. I love Jordynne. I don't have a bad word to say about Jordynne. I don't have a bad word to say about her now signing with WWE. She deserves it. But my point is, that's what that led to.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry
getting buried, I thought.
Yeah.
Look, you want to go over Joe Hendry's spot now?
That's what we're doing.
Oh, no, we were doing it when you were getting dressed. Sorry.
Yeah. Hendry
Matt.
Came in to a lot of buzz, and a lot of, the crowd was super into him. He had a great moment or two. Did he eliminate anybody? No. He dropped a bunch of people, and then Roman comes in and steamrolls over the TNA World Champion as if he's nobody, if he's no different than anybody else in the match.
Yeah, Matt, Roman came in, hit him with a spear, made him look like a jabroni, and threw him out. And like you said, James, I think he hit Miz with a mic drop, but Matt, that was about it. Standing ovation. Thank you. I don't remember who mic drop was. Doesn't matter. But yeah, Matt, he didn't do much outside of have his great pop, and then he looked like any other mid-carder in WWE.
It gets worse than that because Jordynne Grace last year in her Rumble appearance, she didn't eliminate anybody else.
Yep.
But she looked strong, and she did have a moment like a eye-to-eye with Naomi. And what ended up taking out Jordynne Grace was Bianca Belair, arguably the top woman in WWE, doing her finisher on the apron, the hardest part of the ring. So she looked great. Joe Hendry did not get the same service this year, and I will tell you why it's worse than what you just noted. Yes, he did kind of job out to Roman Reigns. He did one kick to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns kind of took it and then kind of nonchalanted it off, speared Joe Hendry, and threw him out. Was that bad? Yes. What's worse is that literally the next thing that Roman Reigns does is he faces off with Braun Breaker.
Intercontinental champion Braun Breaker.
So Braun Breaker looks better against Roman Reigns than Joe Hendry did. Braun Breaker hits a spear, goes to eliminate Roman Reigns, and does the classic maneuver of at the very do the switcheroo. Roman eliminates Braun Breaker, but at the same time, you just made the TNA World Heavyweight Champion look worse, significantly worse than your mid-card champion in WWE. That's not good for TNA. That makes it look bad. You could have done so many things differently here where that you wouldn't immediately go to that mindset.
Yep, I agree. If he had gotten a couple of eliminations, if he had lasted longer, it wouldn't have mattered who eliminated him. But it just, he showed up, got the pop, and that's it. And that's the perception of what we're going to think of Joe Hendry. This is the guy who gets the pop and is over with the crowd but can't go. That's already a large perception. I know people think that Joe Hendry can't wrestle, that he's just the the mic guy, just the pop guy, and that's so not the case, and it sucks. It really sucks.
Local hero Joe Hendry.
Local hero
is very
Joe
upset
Hendry.
about that.
And for me, now as a fan, get over the TNA stuff. As a Joe Hendry fan specifically, he has been clawing and clamoring for a John Cena match for a long, long time. And quite frankly, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he's getting a Cena match.
Nope.
And as much as that sucks as a Hendry fan, I get it. So you couldn't have them wrestle each other for 2 seconds in the fucking Rumble?
Yeah, didn't even get an interaction.
In the match that Joe Hendry won the TNA World Championship, he hits an AA. But you can't let him have this moment in the Rumble. It's very frustrating as a Hendry fan.
Or at least a stare down. Now, if
Yes.
you do it down and you don't have a match afterwards, it is disappointing. But like a stare down is better than nothing.
Exactly, 1,000%.
I want to just say, like, it'd be one thing if it was just the Roman thing with Joe Hendry. It'd be fine. It's rubbing salt in the wound, just showing that, like, hey, our mid card champion is better than the TNA World Champion. Don't forget.
I agree. They were smart enough. First of all, Eric, I have been saying this for months.
Oh, dude, that is James's wet dream.
My nips would cut through my shirt if Cena's 17th world title is the TNA World Championship.
It would be fun.
Diamond cutting.
I like it.
Yeah. Flair's 16 weren't all WWE. I think maybe 2 of them were. Why not?
I mean, technically, most of Flair's 16 are like NWA and WCW.
WCW. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And if you go by Meltzer, it's somewhere between 16 and 23. So.
Yeah. So I would love it if Cena's 17 was TNA.
I also wouldn't mind AJ Styles, but are we done with Joe Hendry? Because this shirt.
Yeah, you can take. Yeah,
really, it looks comfortable.
The shirt is fine. The wig.
Go
oh yeah, no. Somebody who's throwing a wig on it once in a while for a costume, I do feel his pain.
But outside of that, look, it is still a big deal that we live in a world where the TNA World Championship is represented on a WWE pay-per-view. I'm not going to try to be completely negative. It's like, for me, it's like 90% negative, but I am trying to find that silver lining. I got you.
Yeah, I say real quick, it was just like you wish it was on the level that Jordan Grace was last year, because I think
she was Final Four, if I'm not mistaken, last year, right?
I believe so.
No, I don't think so. But you wish it was more akin to that. And it's a shame they didn't do that, but it was still great to see him in the Rumble. You know, a lot of people didn't think it was going to happen because he's booked for Jericho's cruise, but that got pushed back till tomorrow. So, like, congratulations on being in the Royal Rumble. That's very, very, very cool. You know, just, I mean, you can't always have your cake and eat it too. We'll take what we can get.
You know, for sure. Going to the beginning of the Rumble, I think, is a good idea. And we're not going to go in detail on everything, guys, because this is a long match. But
obviously. But there are important things we have to talk about.
Yeah, we start the match with Rey Mysterio at number 1, former Royal Rumble winner Rey Mysterio. And number 2, Cero Miedo Penta. I'll be honest, this was a great start. I loved it. Granted, it was a little botchy. Very glad they didn't go to the instant replay.
They're rusty together. And Penta, I don't know, has ever been an over-the-top Battle Royal. I do want to quickly say hi to... Yeah, so we do the same thing.
My bad.
Edomania does start now. DGN, welcome to the party.
Welcome, DGN. I thought it was really fun to see the 2 luchadors get into it. I don't know that...
A lot of history.
A lot of history. They've wrestled in...
Lucha Underground.
Yeah,
probably
they did wrestle each
other.
Well, so in the original All In, Ray wrestled Ray Fenix. That it was the Bucks and Coda versus Ray Fenix and Bandito.
Yep.
So there is some lucha.
That was the main event that got low key cut short because somebody went long.
Yeah, goddamn Marty Skrull.
We won't talk about it.
But we can talk about Okada. But yeah, so very cool way to start this. The crowd ate it up. The crowd absolutely ate it up. And both Ray and Penta ended up going long in the match. I think they both hit like 40 minutes or so.
Penta definitely hit at least 40. I don't know about Ray. So I think that actually gives me a quick avenue to ask you guys. I know Matt's still getting changed over there.
Yeah.
Did you like the bottom line?
In terms they had the stats going on the bottom.
Loved it. This person was in for this long.
I thought it was a little too predominant. Like I would have preferred if it went away and came back. And it was rather large too. But if it had come back and like popped up like every other minute, I think that would have been great. But as a stat guy, I loved it. I'm a huge stat guy. I love seeing who eliminated who's been in for this long. So this was perfect for me. I just wish that it wasn't in my face the way I felt it was.
So, Matt, I don't know how you liked it, but my big problem was, agree with James, I thought it was too much of the scream because I watch a lot of ESPN almost all the time. There's the bottom line. And I think the big problem was there was that like blue bar at the bottom of it. If you had just bumped that blue bar and bumped what they had down, I think it would have been perfect, Matt. Like, I think that would have been the happy medium there.
I agree. I was willing to work with it. It did, like, I liked it more than I disliked it. Also, if you didn't notice, it did say chapter 2 on the side. It was actually a Fortnite chapter, like OG chapter.
Yeah, I noticed. I noticed it.
Always going to be an ad,
but like as far as ads are concerned, it was like very low key and way better than the Saudi Arabia ad in the corner of the ring, which I
Yeah. Mr. Penguin agreeing with me. Old school Sports Center ESPN vibes. And if you look at the bottom line now, like the old ESPN bottom line was very thin. It was almost about the size of what we have here. Nowadays it's much thicker like they had tonight, but that I'm telling you, that like little weird bottom blue line, if they just eliminated that and bumped it down that quarter of an inch, it would have been a lot better.
I'd agree. Just to answer DGN's question, I think we're going to get 4 to 5, which is just the standard now for WWE premium live events. Yeah, I agree with Matt on that one. But back to the Rumble itself. Love these two getting together. Gable coming in really fit the story super well with his anti-lucha sentiment. I thought that was really funny.
This guy is a racist.
Then we had Carmelo Hayes, who first one eliminated. That was rough, but at the same time, he did show off for like 30 seconds, so that was fun.
Okay, but this guy's been showing off forever. I just saw a sign today, like from the crowd. Apparently, he hasn't won a match in like something like 100 or like 200 days, which is insane.
So I'm conflicted because I see a lot of people very upset about how Carmelo is used, but the reality is he's a young mid-card heel. It's okay that, to me, it's okay that he loses matches because he's so young and so talented, and they're throwing him in there with big names that they trust him with. To me, that's a sign they know what they have with him, and it'll only be a matter of time before he ascends a little bit further up.
I like the optimism, and I'm willing to give it a chance. But on the opposite side, I got to look at him and Braun Breaker both came to the main roster at the same time. Braun Breaker is already a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. He eliminated Carmelo from the Rumble and kind of made him look like a chump. And it's like, it also kind of adds fuel to the fire of that conversation that people have that like WWE doesn't know how to book black talent. And I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm just saying, if you look at those two guys, Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes, Carmelo Hayes has had some big like opponents like Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes, but like, look who's more successful and has had like PLE matches.
As somebody personally, as somebody who is a bigger Carmelo Hayes fan, I absolutely agree with both of their placements because Braun is that much better. Braun is a freak of nature in how fast he has picked up this sport because he did not have any background prior to NXT and WWE. He has taken to this like a fish to water. And not only has he figured out how to wrestle very well with a very explosive style, he's gotten over. He's the heel. He's technically a heel, but the crowd cannot stop barking for him. So again, I have a history with Carmelo Hayes. I watched him when he was Christian Casanova in Northeast Wrestling, way before he got signed to NXT.
Deep pull.
Deep pull. But as much as I like him, I get why he's where he is. Look, the reality is, even when he was in NXT and he was the NXT World Champion, people were chanting, "Whoop that trick." I get it.
But he beat Braun Breaker for the title. So I don't disagree with you. I think if I'm putting them together, I think Braun Breaker is the better of the star. But I don't know if he's like that much better. The fact that their booking is so insanely opposite, in my opinion.
And I get that. For me, I think this is going to be a case of long game for Carmelo. I think Carmelo, it's a matter of when. I'm not worried about the if for Carmelo Hayes.
I
we got
optimism.
I was gonna say I would think my only trepidation would be don't have him lose too much. Like there's a balance.
Ideally, yeah.
So,
Mr. Penguin saying, agreed, Carmelo's time will come, let it marinate. He asks, did Braun need to win the title so quick? I don't think he needed to win it twice so quickly. Once would have been fine.
Mr. Penguin, if you listen to me on the pod, my solution to that was have when he went to the main roster officially after Mania, he should have come up with what's his name, Baron Corbin. They should have been on the main roster together as a tag team. Let that, because they were such a short-lived tag team. Let that go a little bit longer. Play that out. Maybe they win a main roster tag team championship, and then you have them break up. Then you have Braun Breaker win a singles title, and maybe he's only in his first reign, and it's like fresh right out the kitchen. And I've said that multiple times on the pod. If it's the first time you're hearing it, there you go, my friend.
Penguin also saying Mello versus Trick was great in NXT. And our friend of the pod, Chris LeClaire, saying, giving us some stats about Roxanne Perez, who lasted over 67 minutes in the Women's Royal Rumble, breaking her idol Bayley's record of 63 minutes and 3 seconds. Insane numbers for Roxanne. Good for her. We have other friend of the pod. We have really enjoying Maria's presence here lately. Carmelo deserved better booking. He loses too many times. I would have preferred an elimination for him. I would have preferred at least one elimination, but with the way this Rumble was booked, and we talked about this in the predictions yesterday, we knew this was going to be a very back-heavy Royal Rumble.
And it was. The majority of the major names were going to be in the back half. They were, and with something like that, it's tough for too many people to get eliminations early on. So, Maria, I agree, but most of us, or some of us, have faith things will work out for Carmelo in the long run. Yeah, he's too good of a talent, I think, to have him be down for too long.
Chris making a bold prediction that next year Roxanne Perez will win a Royal Rumble. I think it's a very real possibility. For somebody who's not even on the main roster, she's already been in 3 Royal Rumbles.
You know what, though? She would be good to be like, hey, this is the youngest Royal Rumble winner ever, because she'll be, what, 23 next year? Like,
I think so.
Then they could just tout that forever until, some 18-year-old.
Are we touting? Do we still tout? I'll get the tout out.
Tout
I would do it. Tout the continuity where Bryan Danielson is the virile father of Chad Gable. After
So wait, it's
Carmelo,
not Kurt Angle?
that was Jason Jordan, sir. Continuing after Carmelo was Santos Escobar, where we really amped up the lucha presence of this match, which I thought was cool. We then had Otis, who, my God, slapped the shit out of Chad Gable. And Gable took it like a champion. Absolutely cool. By the way, if you guys have anything you want to add, just say it out loud while I'm going through everything.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm waiting for the back end of this, like you were talking.
Gotcha. We then had
I sat on the remote, so I missed Otis slapping Chad Gable. And
oh my God. It led to a deadlift German suplex from Gable to Otis. That was just jaw-dropping.
Yeah.
Great interaction between both guys. Then at number 7 was Braun Breaker, who we've already discussed, had a very good showing, had several eliminations. Carmelo, go ahead.
I was including my man Speed.
I need people to give me a breakdown of Speed, because I've heard bad things, and then I've heard people say he's not a bad guy. I don't know. Other than being associated with Logan Paul, I don't know who he is.
I have no fucking idea who he is. Matt, are you on the internet? All right, Matt's on the internet enough to know who he is. Go ahead.
He's a streamer. He's not as bad as George Takai. I mean Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat, go yourself. Like get out of New York. We don't want you here. Like, stop starting riots. Like, the dude shows up on Raw and he's like, I've never been to a WWE event. Well, then sit your ass in the crowd, stay there, shut the fuck up, and never do anything ever again, because you're trash.
See,
is fine.
Here's the thing. Normally, I would be nervous of like calling people out like this, but considering my blood hatred for JD from NY, I've got to show support for Matt here. Everybody's allowed one mortal enemy on this show. Mine's JD from NY. Yours is apparently Kai Cenat. Rev, we got to find someone for you.
It's the Yankees.
Fuck off. What the fuck did I do here?
I didn't say you.
And at least I bleeped myself, you know? Like,
we're
also, yeah, I was like, we're just beefing with Kai Cenat. That is not great. Well, anyway, I don't know who Speed is. I don't care who Speed is. He was on the show. It was funny. And look,
taking the place of Akira Tozawa, who coming out was attacked by Carmelo Hayes with only one hit.
Eliminated.
Yeah, only one hit was enough to take out Tozawa, which I thought was ridiculous.
From behind.
I don't care. Other than a low blow, there is no justification that one punch to the back is enough to keep a guy out of the Rumble. I thought it was so silly.
And my back hurt. And
Penguin, right on, brother.
Do you not see the Mets poster behind me?
I don't give a shit. Anyway, I show Speed coming out, having one moment where he does like a backflip, shows that he is athletic, and he
eliminated Otis.
He and Braun Breaker eliminated Otis. And then Breaker hits him with a super spear, bouncing off the ropes 3 times, spearing Speed out of his body, and then eliminating him by... Well, see, here's the thing. Do you give the Speed elimination to Braun, or do you give the Speed elimination to Otis?
I'm gonna give it to Braun because Otis wasn't legally in the match still. That being said, I want to actually shout out Speed a little bit. That man took a wicked spear and a table bump. So I don't know nothing about him, but the man did a really good
he
job
earned his bump. I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
And that's the thing. He takes bumps. Kai Cenat has not taken any bumps. Like, fuck you, Kai Cenat. I'm just gonna like keep running on this. Anyway, it was great. I love that Speed. He seemed like he was a little bit out of position. And like Braun Breaker's just like, I don't give an F. I'm just gonna spear the crap.
I'm gonna run through you.
Of what spot you're in, like you're fucking going down, and that's what happened. It was great.
Yep.
Eric saying Speed is a legend. Maria saying give the elimination to Braun. I do think legally they have to again because Otis was eliminated. Penguin saying Speed was RKO'd in the past. I think they put that on the lower third on the bottom line there when he came out. And
Career highlights, RKO and by Randy Orton.
Like his man takes bumps and he dressed up in the ridiculous Prime box.
Yeah, I remember that.
Was that him or KSI?
Yeah. No, it was Speed.
Okay, it was Speed.
Speed did it the second year. He did it.
Okay, all right. Also, I want to go back to Mr. Penguin's comment saying nobody cares about the Mets. You know who cares about the Mets? Juan Soto. Moving on.
It's going to be great when you guys don't win the series this year.
It's going to be great when you don't win either.
It's okay. We won more recently.
I would like to move towards the end of the match if we can.
Hold on. Let's see if there was anybody else. We had Sheamus. We had Jey Uso go a while.
You care way too much about the minutia, but go ahead. All right.
Andrade, who, man, does it matter if it's WWE, AEW, or anywhere else? Like, you're just not going to be a winner, pal.
Honestly, I don't even. Oh, sorry, Matt.
Basically, I mean, like, he should go to CMLL, like somewhere where people will care that he's there.
Yeah,
Japan.
No, he would go to CMLL. No one would care.
He wants it because of the Los Ignorables connection.
I like
so really quick elimination there. Then Jacob Fatu, who not only came out to a massive pop, dominated for a good chunk of this matchup. We then had Ludwig Kaiser, who got eliminated, almost breaking Santino's record. I wonder if they were trying to have him break the record.
I don't think so, but who knows?
They brought it up, but yeah, it didn't happen. Do not write to Penguin in the chat about the Mets. Do not do it, Rev.
I'm not.
Yeah.
They are big.
The Miz, who did more than I thought he would.
And how was Karrion Kross not in this match? Crazy.
I don't get any of it. After the Miz, we hit at the 15-point Joe Hendry, who we spoke about, and then Roman Reigns, who went on a tear, and then Drew McIntyre, followed by someone that if you paid me, motherfucker, you did right to him.
No, BX did. I didn't.
If you paid me, if you put $1,000 in front of me to tell me whose music that belonged to, I would never have been able to say Finn Balor.
Yeah, I didn't know what Finn's. I assumed like Judgment Day was his music. I guess this is his solo music, but I was happy to see him.
Go ahead.
It's Judgment Day's new music. They got rid of the Alter Bridge song. They've been using it for a while now, but it doesn't really hit. And I don't know why he would use it considering he's coming out solo.
Also, I don't watch WWE Weekly, so I also don't know everybody's themes off the top of my head. But
I see, that's the thing. I do watch a lot. I could not tell you.
Even then,
I could not tell you. All right. Mr. Penguin saying the Andrade shade hurts a little bit. Look, I actually do like Andrade, but
I was a little bit of a pun there, shade shadow.
Nice. I do like Andrade, but this is a guy who consistently, grass seems always greener on the other side for him. And I didn't like how he handled his WWE departure. I didn't like how he handled his AEW departure. Now that he's back in WWE, what was it for? He's there on SmackDown most of the time, but it's not like he's doing anything of note. He's not winning any titles. He's not main eventing anything. He's just there. And it's a bummer. But at the same time, this is what he was pushing for. Maria saying Charlotte will make sure Andrade gets a good push now. We'll see. We'll see.
Maria in early on the Nepo.
Yeah.
The Nepo push for Andrade.
Penguin saying Jacob Fatu promo hating on Jey winning. We need that. I don't know, because quite frankly, I'm afraid for Jey against Jacob Fatu. But Jacob's promos coming down to the ring have been incredible.
Yeah.
Agree.
I think that's a future feud for Jey, but
yeah,
I don't know if that is going to be something between now and Mania.
I don't think anyone benefits from it.
Yeah, because assuming Jey is going to actually main event WrestleMania, which James, you said maybe not. But assuming he is, yeah, you do not want to put the guy you are currently allegedly pushing to the top against somebody who's very hot and very up and coming, because then you have to beat that guy who's very hot and very up and coming, Matt.
Here's the thing, though, Jay. We're talking about Jacob Fatu, right?
Yes,
Sir.
So Jacob Fatu has beaten Jay one-on-one clean before Survivor Series. They could have a second match where Jay does beat Jacob. I think Jacob would be able to survive just like losing a single match.
And I'd agree with that, but at the same time, while I agree with you in 100%, he'd survive that loss. Why give Jay that win? You don't need Jacob Fatu's first loss to be to Jey Uso. Give it to somebody else that it would actually benefit from it. Jay's already going to Mania no matter what. Like, whether he confronts Jacob or not, he's ahead of Jacob. Give the win to somebody who will, like, okay, this is going to propel them. Like, I'm not saying it needs to be Braun Breaker, although I love that they keep teasing these two going at it. This is the second time, and my God, my meat is getting slapped.
It is. It's got a very big Shield versus Wyatt's vibe. Like,
yes.
We just want to see these two motherfuckers go at it.
Exactly. Slap each other's meat. Go ahead.
So, I agree with you're saying, James, but they did do, and this maybe not be the greatest example, but they did have Solo Sikoa's first pinfall loss be against Cody Rhodes, the Royal Rumble winner from 2 years ago before Cody took on Roman Reigns. Did that work out great for Solo? No. Yeah. But I think it could work out better for Jacob if the same thing happened. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I'm sorry. I got distracted by a comment.
Yeah.
Mr. Penguin saying, my meat getting slapped. Put it on a shirt. I just might.
You know what? We need some market down merch, guys. If you want my meat getting slapped merch, so let us know. We'll put a big steak on it, too.
And we'll put the hand emoji. We'll put, like, the slap emoji next to it. I
Maybe.
think we got something good there.
We'll work on some designs.
Cody Crybaby merch?
What happened?
Did they ever make Cody Crybaby?
No.
How did they do that?
Because Cena has the confidence to put out a Cena suck shirt. I love Cody. He does not have the confidence to put out a Cody Crybaby shirt.
Rock shirt and make it specifically for toddlers. Like they make toddler merch.
That is actually pretty clever. Like I'll give you that. That's pretty good. But I understand. I 1000% recognize this is because Cody Rhodes would not okay that. But going back to the comments, Eric saying Penta is already a bigger star than Andrade. Something I agree with.
Yeah.
It's so unfortunate, but it's very true. Maria agreeing 100%. Andrade made a mistake leaving AEW. Maria also saying, save Fatu's first loss to Roman or Braun Breaker. Personally, I am more inclined to go Braun Breaker than Roman just because Roman doesn't need it. But I get the appeal of that Samoan match. I do.
I think if you're going to go non-feud for Fatu, it's Braun.
Yeah.
I like non-bloodline. Let me specifically say it that way. If you're going to non-bloodline, yes, then Braun would be the guy. But I think maybe somebody in the bloodline would be the first loss.
Eric saying Jey versus Fatu at SummerSlam for the title. I think that's very realistic. I think that's a good time to have that match. Granted, at SummerSlam, maybe not. Maybe a little earlier. But at the same time, yeah, I think him wrestling Jacob after a title win is the move. And finally, Mr. Penguin saying that we also never got an I Love You Solo shirt or any merch for I Love You Solo, which does feel weird.
That's wild.
Yeah. That one there's still more time for. Yeah.
With the hands and the beads, like how have we not gotten that?
Come on, WWE, we're better than that. But yeah, we are now at 16 with Roman Reigns. 17 was Drew McIntyre. 18 was Finn Balor. 19 was Shinsuke Nakamura coming out to fucking crickets.
Because his new theme sucks.
It's the same theme, just played differently. But I just don't think people give a shit either way.
That's also true. I feel, which is terrible. Because
I agree. It's fucking terrible. 20 is the winner, Jey Uso. 21 is returning AJ Styles, who I thought looked fantastic.
And had his old music.
Thank God for that.
Oh,
Hey, Eric, not going to happen, buddy. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen.
In my defense, I'm trying.
I know you are. 22 is Braun Strowman. 23 is John Cena. 24. This is the one we're really going to have to talk about. CM Punk. 25, Seth frickin' Rollins. 26, Dirty Dom Mysterio. 27, Sami Zayn. 28, Damian Priest. 29, LA Knight. 30, Logan Paul. Guys, we want to talk about the back half of the match. We're here for it. Rev, lead us through it.
Well, I was going to throw to you guys. I think one of the biggest parts of this match, outside of obviously Jey winning, was the big cluster of eliminations between Roman, Rollins, and CM Punk.
Yes,
Because
shocked.
After that happened, there was a big brawl between the three of them. Rollins stomped Reigns onto the steps. Seth and Rollins kept brawling after that. Got to be physically pulled apart. And look, I do, Mr. Penguin, I do want to talk about the AJ Styles theme coming back. But I think for me, like personally, going into WrestleMania, outside of the winner, this might be the biggest storyline here. And Matt, you're more enthusiastic than I am about this, so I'm going to go to you with it because I don't know, like, did this lead to a triple threat between the three of them? It kind of felt like that.
I think right off the bat, it does feel like that, but you never know. I mean, we couldn't
A lot of time.
what the hell was going to happen with the main event scene last year at Mania. We were saying, like, is Reigns going to face Cody on one night and Rock on another night? Is it going to be a triple threat? Oh my God, are we going to have a fatal four-way? Like, it feels in that same vein, but much earlier on that, like, I don't know what these three guys are going to do at Mania. Again, it feels like this is very much, at least tonight, it was definitely a Seth versus Roman matchup, and Seth and Punk is just kind of the wrench in the works. I'm just very curious because I really thought that Punk was winning this Rumble. Like, my two theories were that either Punk wins it, and at the end it's Punk versus Reigns at the end of the Rumble. Paul Heyman kind of interferes or distracts Roman to let Punk win, and that is the favor that, because we still don't know what the favor is.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman owes CM Punk a favor, and that's what I thought it was going to be. That, like, you know, Paul Heyman essentially gives CM Punk a world title match at Mania. That didn't happen tonight. We don't know what the favor is. We don't know how that will be fulfilled, but it's got to come up somewhere soon. It's got to come in time for Mania. And my other theory was that Rock comes out at number 30 or number 31 and wins the whole thing. But it essentially looks like Rock is not going to be wrestling at WrestleMania this year, which is a shame, but it is what it is. They can have
We'll get to that.
they have a great show without him, but it's still, there is like, I think the amount of work they put in last year with the final boss, it's a shame that he will not be returning. But yeah, on surface level, it looks like a triple threat right now for Mania between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. We'll see where it leads. There's plenty of time between now and WrestleMania. As Rock says, enjoy the ride.
I mean, granted, it might not be WrestleMania. There are pay-per-views between now and then. It could be an Elimination Chamber, if you really want to build that.
You think they're going to do a triple threat between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk?
No, absolutely fucking not. But
unless it's a number one contender match for the world title, but still, even that just feels like a waste.
You can't, because there's that thing called the elimination. Unless they all meet in the chamber.
They could do the chamber match, could be a title match, which they don't do anymore, which I don't understand. And remember, here's a callback. They did do a triple threat to determine a number one contender for the world championship. I think not at Elimination Chamber, but at Fastlane, it was Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns won to take on Triple H at WrestleMania.
I will say this. I actually do really like that the Elimination Chamber is like the backup Rumble, for lack of a better phrase. Like, if You don't win the Rumble. You have to qualify to get an Elimination Chamber and then have to go through that grueling match to get a shot at the WWE or the other championship, whatever the Royal Rumble winner doesn't pick. Like, I really like that idea because the Elimination Chamber is supposed to be one of, if not, I guess, probably the second most difficult match after Hell in a Cell,
Armageddon,
so to speak. Yeah, well, we haven't had Armageddon in a while.
We should bring it. I mean, did we get the awesome Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell? Yes. But I've been saying for a while that we should bring back Armageddon Hell in a Cell. He's definitely during Roman's time as champ, and even Cody's time as champ. We need like a multi-man title defense. They keep having these. This is like the second time we've had like a really long title reign where it's just like, I'll take on one guy, and then I beat him. I'll take him in a rematch with maybe a stipulation. It's like we don't have these crazy like you're gonna take on 5 men and like fuck your wife. Like, I don't know. It's just like,
well,
I don't know
think
where we got that one, bro.
Yeah, I think we got rid of the cuck angles after Bobby Lashley and Lana. Somebody left, and we kind of left all those behind.
Don't do that last part, but you know what I mean? Just like something insane. It just seems like the stakes are way less. Like, it just seems like everything is in favor of the champion, of protecting the champion, of not making the champion go through too many hurdles.
Hit somebody with a pie.
That was
James.
Eric giving us a scoop here through PW Insider. When Drew got to the back, he was screaming and cursing that someone had to get their moves in at the expense of a number of stories in the match. He then loudly stormed out of the building and was gone well before the match ended. The only person I can think of for that would be Roman.
I was thinking Rollins with his stomps to Roman, like
maybe.
He hit a few consecutive ones, but
those were after Drew got eliminated. So it would probably be somebody that Drew interacted with. Because also I love that first stomp. He did like a double stomp, like both feet onto Roman's head. That was amazing.
The reason I thought it was Roman, because Roman just dominated for a bit at the expense of a lot of people. But I don't know. And that's just speculation on our part. We're not confirming anything.
I'm not sure Drew was in at that point, but
Drew was immediately after Roman.
Exactly. Thank you. So, I mean, I always take a little bit of a grain of salt with Drew because I feel like he's working a lot. So we'll see what happens there. Look, we spent about an hour on this Rumble, which I think was longer than the Rumble itself. So, Matt, while James is chewing, do you have any last thoughts before we move on?
Nope, let's move on. It was an enjoyable match. I think it was better than last year's Rumble. I think it was on par with the women's Rumble. Surprised by the winner, but like I'll take somebody who I wouldn't have chosen over John Cena.
Actually, really quickly, I guess, Matt, I'll go back to you really quick. Any thoughts on, I know there's a lot of speculation about The Rock coming out at 31. Are you cool with him not coming out, or how do you feel about that not being a thing?
I really didn't think it was going to happen. Like, I thought in my heart of hearts, I thought Punk was winning. I think Cena was my second guy. Like, he's probably going to win if Punk doesn't win. My third thing was like Rock will come out at either 30 or 31. And my fourth pick was that maybe Goldberg comes back and wins to ultimately get destroyed by Gunther at Mania, which I still want to see.
So respectfully, you were just wrong. It happens. It happened. Hey, I was wrong too, and I had an alleged spoiler sheet, and I was still wrong.
I was right about the women's Rumble, so
yeah. Well, I got that too, but
we all did.
Yeah, James, do you have any last thoughts about the Rumble itself and or The Rock not showing up at 31?
Well, I know Danny was very much in favor going into this Rumble that it could have been the all-time greatest Rumble, like surpassing 2001, surpassing 2020, surpassing 2018. I don't think it reached those heights, but I think this was a very well-booked Rumble from beginning to end. Whether or not you like the winner, I do agree in concept with what Matt said. Sometimes it's fucking awesome to have somebody you just did not expect to win the Rumble win it. And am I clamoring for a Jey Uso title reign? Not really, but I am really excited for a Jey Uso title win. So let's see what happens. I'm all for it, and I think they did a great job of using the Rumble to establish where a lot of people are going to be going moving forward towards Mania. Can't ask for much more than that.
Sorry, I got one. It was interesting that we only really had two surprises. We had AJ Styles returning. We had Joe Hendry making his debut. We didn't have a Randy, and it's not a complaint, but we didn't have a Randy Orton. We didn't have a Matt Cardona / Zack Ryder, and we didn't have any like legends come out.
Triple H's booking of the Men's Rumble has been very anti-nostalgia and very anti-surprise.
I guess
the women get it a lot more. What?
Surprise. Speed.
Yeah, speed.
Sure. All right.
Look, that was the fun moment of the Rumble, I would guess. But like, I agree with I do miss legends coming out. I thought they did a good job because there was only 4 matches. They had to kill a lot of time, which fine. But I thought they did a good job of highlighting previous Rumble winners, and a lot of them were in the crowd, which was really cool. I think Angle was there, RVD was there, Farouk was there.
Kurt Angle, Mickey James.
I'd say Kurt Angle, thank you.
Sorry.
$2. Yeah, there were a lot of people there, so I did enjoy that. But yeah, I do miss the nostalgia pop of, I think like 1 year Tanaka showed up and I popped just because it was Tanaka, and I do miss that a lot. So we don't get it as much anymore. And I understand there's a lot of people on these rosters right now, both on the men's and women's side. I was talking to my brother who was watching with me tonight, and he hasn't watched in a while. And I was talking more for the women's match. I was like, you don't really get the nostalgia pops anymore because at the beginning of the women's Rumble, they didn't have as many people. And they had to bring in the legends because they had to fill the slots. Like you're getting Kelly and Trish and Lita and whoever. Now, they have a deep roster and you're pulling from NXT. And I think you're doing the same on the men's side too, to a certain extent. So I get why we don't get it as much, but I do miss them a lot. That being said, let that be the last word on the men's Rumble, and because I'm sure we have a lot more to say, but we do have to move on because, again, we spent over an hour on this. So let's go in reverse order of the show, and we will move on next to Cody Rhodes facing off against Kevin Owens for the WWE Undisputed Championship / the winged belt, because Kevin's just being a dick about it, in a ladder match. We had Cody defeating Kevin Owens after I think he got shoot bloodied on his eye. On a table spot by Cody, and first time I don't want to say first time, but probably first time in a long time this ever happened. Cody hit an Alabama slam off the announce desk onto a ladder that was platformed between the announce desk and the ring. Kevin took one of the I don't want to say funniest, but most interesting bumps I've ever seen because his head perfectly landed between the rungs and just bopped right in between it, and he got stuck in a very funny way. And Cody went up and grabbed both titles to retain his championship.
You're forgetting an important detail, though, to that finish. Who was at ringside?
I was going to get there.
Were
cut
you?
Me off.
I don't know.
Shortly before that, Sami Zayn had come out after Kevin had hit a fisherman brainbuster to Cody onto a ladder. And once Sami Zayn had come out to check on both men, Sami remained neutral seemingly throughout it. He was also being held back by WWE officials. So that might be a little bit of I don't know if that's a tell or not, but either way, he was not involved in the finish. And then that led to the Alabama Slammer, as JBL would call it, and the finish. James, you are muted. So, Matt, I'll go to you first. What did you think of this match? I thought it was a good match. There was a lot of good ladder spots here. Kevin Owens is always good for one sideways back ladder spot that makes me cringe. We had that. We had a lot of beating up with people with the rungs of the ladder, which I thought was cool. So a lot of good stuff out of this match. I very much enjoyed it. And obviously, Cody winning was the play here.
Yeah, it was a solid match. That one ladder gave no give for Kevin and his poor back. Just land on this 100%. Like
it never does.
And then they also had like a mini ladder, like a hornswoggle sized ladder that they just
the WLC ladder.
They kept wailing on each other with it.
Man, if I could cut you off really fast, I know I've been doing that. I had to explain WLC to my brother while watching.
The greatest pre-show match in WWE history.
I'd be like, yeah, Meltzer gave it 5 stars just because it was great. I'm sorry, man, continue.
So yeah, there was a lot to enjoy here. I think it was a little disappointing we didn't see a package pile driver, especially because it was going to be on a table. But I do love the Alabama Slam. It's just always one of my all-time favorite moves, even though it's so simple, but it's just so effective. And like Kevin just took it like a champ. And I don't know if his head really like landed in between like the rungs of the ladder naturally. Like he might have just kind of like after like he landed, just kind of like, I guess I could just kind of slide my head in here. Yeah, perfectly like that.
No, we're doing this at you. You're sideways.
Oh, yeah.
Your camera turned. I
Yeah.
can't.
No,
you're
upside down. No, you're right side up, but
Well,
you
yeah.
widescreen.
Now you're setting up a profile.
There you
There
go.
we go. Hey.
I decided to do that, but
So, do you know why the Alabama Slam doesn't get hit more often?
Because Nikki Bella used to use it.
No.
something with Hardcore Holly.
Well, somewhere Hardcore Holly is taking credit for the finish of this match. But no, the reason that move doesn't get hit that often is because guys hate taking it. Because there is no way to protect yourself from that bump. You could really get whiplash. It could lead to a concussion.
Didn't Riddick Moss, I think, got a concussion taking it?
It's a reverse Alabama Slam that Drew did on him, and Drew would do the reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Landing on your back, he would land on your face.
Yeah.
Riddick Moss almost broke his neck taking that move.
He's too big a guy to be taking that move.
Yeah, thank you.
But to go off of what Matt said, I was disappointed we didn't see the package pile driver just because it's been introduced to the canon now of WWE and Kevin. I'm glad, though, that we didn't get it because they've established that the package pile driver is a fucking deadly move, that Kevin Owens hitting pile drivers are deadly scenarios. We still haven't seen Randy Orton after he hit the pile driver onto Randy. And if he had hit the package pile driver onto Cody, he should have won. So in a scenario where Kevin's not going to win, I don't want to see him hit the move.
It's fair.
So I'm okay that it was protected in this situation. I love the inventiveness of this match. I don't know if you guys know your ladder match history, but to me, one of the better ladder matches of the old era was The Rock versus Triple H for the Intercontinental title.
That's it.
This was before either man ever won a world title. This is Triple H was still wearing pants at this point.
I've heard of this match, but I don't think I've watched it.
Both men have spoken about that ladder. They're not high-flying guys. They're not naturally air guys. So how do you get creative and inventive in a ladder match that's designed for people to be high-flying, to be death-defying when you're not those guys? So it was, how do we beat the shit out of each other with the ladders to make it worth it? And so long. I love that they did that here. I love that this match showed them beating each other up with ladders as opposed to how am I going to throw myself off of a ladder a la RVD, a la Jeff Hardy.
A la Cody versus Sammy Guevara.
A la Cody versus Sammy Guevara, which, by the way, breaks something Michael Cole said today, where he said that Cody's only ever been in 5 ladder matches in his career. You're looking good, buddy.
Yeah.
Cody's only been in 5 ladder matches in his career, and they were all Money in the Bank matches, he said. Sammy Guevara would disagree.
He should have said in his WWE career.
That would have been a simple save because, I mean, they made a lot of comments tonight. They talked about Zelina Vega's cousin, Amazing Red. They talked about where Johnny Gargano and Alex Shelley wrestled in like some very small company in Cleveland I don't think I've ever heard of. So
they are establishing that the wrestling world exists as long as your initials aren't AEW.
Yeah. And I will say, and this was something I wanted to mention about when we were talking about Joe Hendry, but I'll talk about it now. I do appreciate the fact that in this Triple H era, we have established that there are other wrestling companies, and it's very nice. And I know part of it is, financially beneficial with TNA, but outside of AJ Styles' debut at the Rumble, we very rarely hear anything about a different wrestling company. And now that it's a little bit lax, as long as it's not AEW or I guess even Ring of Honor, you do hear about it, and it's very nice. Heading into the comments really quick as Eric jumps in. At the press conference, Jey apparently straight up said he chose Gunther. Cena said he still wants the main event. I was half listening to Jey, so I couldn't confirm that. Obviously, Cena wants the main event. That's literally the entire point of his story right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, to stick with this match, James.
Okay.
No,
we'll get back to it after. I thought the match was very good. I thought both men delivered. Kevin Owens, they acknowledged it on camera. Kevin Owens hasn't held a world championship in 8 years.
Punk cooked him on Friday.
Yeah. I am so ready for him to win the world championship again at some point. He's earned it. And granted, it's not like he's not being taken care of. Multiple WrestleMania main events at this point. One of them against Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Childhood dream.
Got to win the tag titles with his best friend in the main event of WrestleMania. Is consistently a main event fixture. It's not like he's some scrub, but he deserves another world title reign. Something more on his terms and not when he's a secondary act to Goldberg and Brock Lesnar.
I mean, best friends was not best friends. Him and Team Chris and Kevin was great.
It was great. I loved it.
But then,
he deserved the payoff.
Yeah, he didn't get the payoff, and they had to do that bullshit at the end.
So
Kevin and Chris was awesome.
Yeah, I wait for the day he wins the title again. All right, let's go. I guess. Go ahead.
All right, I did want to agree with you about the package pile driver though, because as much as it was teased, you're right. Like package pile driver equals, I don't want to say death, but it equals you're out for a couple of weeks. Yeah. So I very much appreciated the fact that while it was teased and while he wanted to hit it, that he wasn't able to hit it because it really does protect that move.
Yes.
And that is now his Randy Orton punt.
Yes, exactly.
Like if he hits it, like A, he's going to get suspended again. And B, like that dude's going to be out for a while. Like you said, Randy's been out for weeks. Cody was hurt for a couple of weeks and he wasn't cleared and he said, fuck off, I'm fighting him anyway at a certain point. So I really like the fact they protected that move, Matt, and they did a great job with it. So Alabama Slam was a little bit of a I know I keep coming back to that. I was just very surprised that was the end move, but I liked it. It was unique.
Yeah, unexpected for sure. And again, Kevin sold it like death, putting his head in that thing. And also like him just randomly getting busted open and like
it helped a lot.
I think is like one of the safest spots in wrestling. Like, oh, let me pretend to bounce your head on whatever object this is. And apparently maybe he caught like an edge or something and Kevin was busted open. Like it was just surprising and it was solid. But yeah, let's move on unless you got anything.
It was very Randy Orton catching a pencil at WrestleMania 30. Do you remember that? So when Randy and Batista did the Batista Bomb RKO spot on the announce desk to Bryan, they didn't completely clear the desk. And when he RKO'd Bryan, a pencil went into his side, and that's how he was bleeding. He was like, so if you ever watch Randy completely clears an announce desk when he's doing a spot now, and he gets every little thing off because a pencil caught him. And I think it was probably something really small, and Kevin probably just caught a corner or some random nonsense, and it just it nicked him good. But it was funny because I was just telling my brother 2 minutes ago, yeah, they don't blade anymore in WWE. They do in AEW, but not in WWE. And all of a sudden, Kevin starts bleeding. I was like, this makes this match so much better. This felt like a match that could have used blood, and maybe I'm just very WWE mode, right? Or AEW mode, excuse me, right now. But I thought it added a lot to the match because Cody jumped right on him, started punching that cut. It added a lot to the match, man.
Yeah. I just remember Randy hitting the camera box afterwards. I didn't know about the pencil, but
it might have been the camera box. Excuse me. I thought maybe it was another spot with the pencil.
I wanted on the record. You guys were telling me I was taking too long covering the Royal Rumble, and we're talking about a spot that wasn't even in the match.
Fair enough. Let's move on.
In my defense, I then related it back to the match, and then Matt went back. All right. I guess let's let that be the last word on that. Don't get back to it. Yeah, thanks, buddy.
9 minutes. Oh.
All right, moving on. Before this match, we had DIY of Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano face off against the Motor City, Machine Guns, and this was a good match. I did admittedly get a little distracted for this match, but I think mostly just because James, these are your boys, the Motor City Machine Guns, and again, shout out Alex Shelley being on the pod here. I wanted more out of this match, a little bit.
All right, first things first, the crowd did not give a shit.
Didn't
help. I know we're defending the large arena, the large stadium. We are, and to a point, it's fair. They only popped for pins. They popped for pins and for the ending. So first fall, 2 out of 3 falls went to DIY. DIY using some trickery, no cheating, but using some clever tag team maneuvering to get the win, faking the legal man, and then Tommaso hitting a massive knee onto Alex Shelley and getting the pin. Second fall coming a few minutes later as the Motor City Machine Guns hit their tag team finish on, I believe it was Gargano, to get the 1, 2, 3 and to even it out at 1 apiece. Finally, the finish coming with a distraction from Montez Ford, allowing I almost said Angelo Parker, Dawkins to come in and hit. I forget which machine gun, but one of the machine guns with the not the cane, but the crutch.
There's a crutch, and Dawkins blasted Shelley. Shout out,
thank you, Dawkins. Blasted Shelley, allowing DIY to hit their tag finish, get the 1, 2, 3, and retain the tag titles. I'm fine with this because it's going to lead to a pretty fun triple threat. And there's been a lot of hot potatoing of the tag titles. It went from DIY to the Bloodline to the Machine Guns to DIY. And don't get me wrong. What was that?
In about 60 days.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind the occasional hot potato, but to do it again to me, isn't the move. Let DIY retain. This is the first time we talked about it. This is the first time the tag titles have been defended on Premium Live Event in 10 months since WrestleMania. I'm okay with the retention here, especially if this means that we might actually get the title change and the Machine Guns winning at Media. I think that'd be awesome. After the match, obviously, we see the Prophet. Ooh, what?
Oh no, it's basketball related. Do you care?
Oh, I saw the trade. It's fucking.
I crazy. Just saw it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be distracted for a minute.
Yeah, I'll take over.
Like I said, I got distracted during this match. So all I'm gonna say is I wanted it to be better because I know these guys are better than this, and they could have done better. Triple H needs to do better at booking this tag team division. At least the tag titles made a pay-per-view, but come on, boys. That being said, holy fuck, they dealt Luca for
I know.
motherfucking
All right,
Anthony Davis.
we'll talk about it. But after the match, we see DIY celebrating with their titles, and then Dawkins hits them both with the crutch, and Dawkins and Ford both hold the titles up above their heads. The crowd kind of popped for it. So no matter what, they're setting up more for the future. Matt, what did you think of all of it?
I didn't like it. I mean, their match itself was fine. I think the ending definitely ruined it. I think they should have tried to do more of what they did with the Revival back when they did their 2 out of 3 falls match. They did reference it a little bit. DIY did hit a shatter machine on.
Yeah, I like that.
So that was a fun reference, but it didn't really lead much more than that. It wasn't 3 separate matches, which is what their match with the Revival was. Not that I was expecting that, but I would have liked something a little more in tune to that. This, I don't know what they're doing with the Profits. I think the Profits are a very profitable tag team. They're very talented. They're very popular, but they've been lost for over a year. You get people that are, wrestling is about being hot and cold. You get your ups and downs. The Profits have been down for over a year, and I don't know what it is you have to do to save them, but this isn't it.
I mean, if I may, they got kind of screwed by the Bobby Lashley of it all.
I was about to actually come back in and say that.
WWE tried forcing the Profits with Lashley, and it was because they wanted Lashley to have a crew that wasn't the Hurt Business for some reason. And
if I may, Vince McMahon thinking, we can't do anything more with the Hurt Business, but let's put another tag team with Bobby Lashley.
That's absolutely, it was bizarre, and I think it hurt the Profits. I also think the Profits were hurt by their own early success. They were so popular in NXT, and then they jumped to the main roster. And then after jumping to the main roster, they almost immediately won the tag titles and had it for a good little bit. So it gets to a point of what else can you do with them? Clearly, they don't want to split them up yet, even though many people would be happy to see a Montez Ford singles run. But I think this could be a good reset where they've got a little bit of an edge to them. They're not afraid to fight dirty. They're not afraid to break the rules. But at the same time, they're still going to have that swag that they've had for the longest time. So I'm willing to give this a little bit of a shot. I just think personally, they're the odd team out when you compare them to DIY and Motor City Machine Guns. They have a very different style than the other 2 teams. So that's where I'm a little concerned.
I appreciate your optimism, but I have to respectfully disagree. I think they were cold before they teamed up with Bobby Lashley. I think that could have been something. It didn't turn into something, and that was not their fault, nor was it Bobby.
I agree.
It is what it is, and also the Pride is a terrible name because I don't know, not that there's anything wrong with it, but you say the Pride, I immediately think oh, that's like a gay group,
Well, it's a lion thing because they associate,
what it is, but no one thinks about that when you say that. If you just say the word Pride, do you think lions or do you think LGBTQ plus support?
I think it depends on how much you read politics.
regardless, it was not none of those guys are gay, so it's not a great name for them. Maybe rethink that. And also I think just that putting BFAB with them is a mistake too, because I don't think she's anything special at all. No offense to BFAB, but she's just another girl on the roster. Just have Bianca with them. She's Montez's husband. I understand that they want to keep it separate, but they're married. They have a reality show together. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to try and see if they can do something as a group together.
I think the reality is she's so much bigger than both of them that it almost hurts her to put them together.
Word. Yeah, I'm with James there. I agree with you, dude, because, Matt, I think that Street Profits works well as a name, whether you're face or heel. So I don't understand the name switch. That makes no sense. But yeah, they've been kind of DOA for a while, so hopefully this can inject something into them. But yeah, like I guess they kind of almost have to act like the Hurt Business, but then at the same time, they're just going to feel like a knockoff Hurt Business. So it's going to be a little difficult. Hopefully, they can find their new niche because James, to your point, after their initial run, like kind of almost hitting a Enzo and Cass point, where it's like, all right, you did your shtick up here, it worked well. At least y'all won the tag titles.
Yeah.
Still absolute sin Enzo and Cass haven't won the tag titles, but that's besides the point. Now what? And they're at that now what point of their career, and they haven't figured it out yet, Matt.
Now what is? I just think they should go to AEW and be the mogul prophets. Honestly, I know it's been said a bunch of times online, but I just think that's their best bet. But that's all I have to say about this match. If you guys want to keep going, go for it.
Yeah, no, I'm good to move on.
I was gonna say I don't know much about the Street Profits going to AEW. Because AEW is a work rate place. I don't know, but I think you're right. That's probably a discussion for another day. So let us hit what started the show, which was the Women's Royal Rumble match. A lot of fun returns in this. I'm just going to start with Alexa Bliss coming back because I wanted to. Yep. She came back. Trish came back 2 minutes after I said, we don't really get a lot of returns on the Rumbles anymore, like Trish Stratus to my brother. And then Trish Stratus came back, so that made me look dumb as hell. And then obviously the big return being Charlotte Flair, who came back, won the Rumble. James, I had this spoiled for me. Thanks, producer boy, for putting the betting odds in the chat. But honestly, I'm conflicted about this because I like Charlotte a lot. I think she's a great talent. I think she does a lot of good work. I hate her booking a lot of the times. So I'm very conflicted where what happens with her a lot is she comes back, she immediately gets a shot at the title and then goes for it. And it's a lot of here we go again.
I struggle because I don't just dislike her booking. I dislike her character. Again,
that doesn't help either. Yeah.
I'm not speaking on the person. I'm not speaking on Ashley Flair. I'm speaking on the character of Charlotte. It's just she should always be a heel because that is what she is best at. She is not good at being a babyface. Take away the fact that they don't know how to book her as a babyface. She's so clearly bad at it. And beyond being bad at being a babyface, my biggest issue, we're right now in the thralls of, is John Cena going to win his 17th world championship and beat Ric Flair's record after a 20-plus year career? And Charlotte Flair, I have to look at it right now, is I think at like 14 herself.
She's at 14 or 15 off the top of my head. I think she's at 15 last time.
She is a six-time Raw Women's Champion.
Easy, Booker T.
A 7-time SmackDown Women's Champion, a 1-time Divas Champion, and a 2-time NXT Women's Champion. And one of those NXT Women's Championships was definitely a world title because she cashed in her Royal Rumble appearance.
I was going to say, we're counting the NXTs then, right?
Yeah.
Just make sure.
You can count one.
I'll count one.
But the Divas Championship turned into one of her women's tag.
All right, I'll give you that.
If you look on WWE's official roster, she'll probably say like X-Teen Time Champion.
But we can't trust their officiating because the New Day have won X amount of tag titles and they've switched between Raw and SmackDown without actually winning. And sometimes one of them has actually been injured for the entire title reign, but they still get a title reign out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Minimum. She's a 13-time world champion. Minimum. That's if we don't include NXT, and that's if we don't include the Divas run.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain they have her at like 15.
Let's just take what James said. We'll just take
minimum 13,
16, maximum.
Yes,
16, minimum 13. Let's go from there. Go.
All right.
And how long a period of time? That's her entire fucking career. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. And it's exhausting to see. I don't want to see her versus Rhea for a third time at Mania. I don't care who wins I don't care if Rhea wins. I mean, I care. I want Rhea to win, but I don't want to see it. And I really don't want to see her take the title off Tiffy. But that's probably going to be what it is.
Yeah.
And it's just a bummer. As a Roman Reigns fan during the dark days of Roman, where people hated him in his booking, I get it. I understand it. I never criticized anyone for not liking Roman because this is how I feel with Charlotte. It's just shoved down our throats whether or not we like it. But look, there was a lot of good in this Women's Rumble. Alexa Bliss is back, and I'm so happy for her. She's worked really hard to come back, and I'm so happy she's back. I didn't like Michael Cole. I thought the internet said she wasn't coming back.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys. Fuck that. I'm a mark. I'm supposed to be buying this shit. Don't mock me for buying it.
Yeah, it was a little extra for me too. I'm just like, can we not talk about the times you guys screw up, or like talk about like what's being reported on the dirt sheets? Like,
yeah,
a little much. It's a little much. A little on the.
I thought it was low hanging fruit, and they went for it, and whatever. I loved Bliss being there. I loved the NXT representation between Stephanie Vicar, Julia, Roxanne, Lash Legend. I don't think I missed anybody. Jada Parker, who thankfully doesn't really have much heat on her, it seems.
That she got a spot, but Lola Vice didn't. They are like, I think, I don't watch NXT a lot, but I believe they have a rivalry. And
yeah, they do.
They've each won one match, so they're even. So why is one of them getting a spot on the match and what one is not? Did they do the thing where like, who should we have in the match? We have 2 black girls and we have 2 Latina girls. We can't have a third Latina girl. We have to keep it even. Like,
I don't think that's it at all. I think that was exactly what you were thinking, but I don't think that's what WWE was thinking.
I'm cynical here.
Yeah.
Just saying, it's a bummer that they didn't. I feel like if you have Jada Parker in the Rumble, you have to have Lola Vice in the Rumble. Let's put it this way. Lola Vice should be pissed that she's not in the Rumble, but Jada Parker is.
I'm surprised Cora Jade wasn't in it from NXT personally, but granted, she's working TNA lately.
I wasn't surprised about that because I think they've been booking her like trash. Like, so I even said in the beginning, I'm like, watch Cora Jade not be in this Rumble, even though I think she kind of deserves a spot. Like, I would have put Cora Jade in it over Jada Parker. Simply because of the Lola vibe,
And the biggest one, and I called it yesterday in the predictions. You could go back and check. I called Nikki Bella. I said it was going to be Nikki Bella, and boy, oh boy, did she show up and just piss everybody off by being number 30. I was so happy.
Very happy to see her, though.
Yeah.
I thought it was great, but I was definitely disappointed. I would have been fine if she showed up earlier, but I know a lot of people would say, well, like, oh, if she showed up earlier, then people would be expecting Brie Bella, and they would have been disappointed that Brie Bella showed up. I'm like, no, I don't think anyone's had Brie on their radar. Like, Nikki showed up on Raw. Brie didn't show up on Raw. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Brie supporting Team AEW with her husband.
Matt, would you have flipped Trish and Nikki? Would you be better with that?
I think, yeah, that would be. What number was Trish?
I'll look right now.
I don't know off the top of my head, but Trish was after
Trish was 25. Trish was 25.
I think I would have put Charlotte or Nia Jax at 30. Like, I think that's the kind of spot. Like, you put Nikki Bella at 29, and like some people would think, oh, maybe Brie Bella, but you would be like, well, Charlotte hasn't come out yet, and Nia hasn't come out yet. Those are 2 huge names that no one's going to forget about. Like, they've got to come out. No one's going to think that like Brie Bella is going to be over Nia or Charlotte. You know what I'm
saying? I'll get to Nia in a second, but I did enjoy the new school NXT versus old school NXT stare down, and then Roxy inserting herself into it, which was really fun. And Bianca was like, no, I'm going to be in this too. That was a good time. I really enjoyed that. It was a good time.
Speaking of Bianca, I got mad at her.
Oh, with the Jordan Grace Naomi thing?
What happened?
So there was a moment, and it was
No new friends.
yeah, it was a recreation of last year's Rumble where Naomi and Jordan Grace have a moment together, being the TNA girls, and then they do it again with the hug here. But then Bianca comes in, grabs Jordan by the hair, has like this stank face on when talking to Naomi, like what the who the fuck is she? And then just tosses her over the rope. She doesn't get eliminated, but she tosses her. And then Naomi and her are just like, we're a team. We got this.
And then they go beat somebody up in the corner and they left it alone, which is weird. But
yeah, like fuck you, Bianca. Like Naomi wasn't your backup to Jade Cargill.
James, as Captain TNA, what did you think of Jordan Grace in this Rumble match? As I guess her official WWE debut.
Disappointed because, of course, I wanted more for her. She was my pick. I wanted her to win to go after Rhea Ripley.
I thought she would make Final Four. But...
That's my thing, but I think because she was Final Four last year, they didn't want to do it this year as well.
Why Reigns was like runner-up for how many years?
I mean, are they saying Jordan Grace is Roman Reigns, though? So that...
I mean, she could be.
For the final two.
Yeah. Look, I would have been happy. I wanted her to win. But regardless... I believe she got eliminated by
it was somebody in NXT.
Yeah, it was somebody. It might have been Julia.
Yeah, it was Julia. It was Julia.
And I'm fine with that in the thought process that I'm as disappointed as I am that I think she's going to NXT.
That was my initial thought.
If she takes the NXT women's title off of Julia, all's well that ends well as far as I'm concerned. Again, not thrilled that it seems to be the pipeline is TNA to NXT, but that feels where we're going. So at the very least, her winning the title kind of softens that blow.
I will say she had a really nice Death Valley driver onto Piper Niven.
I don't even know if that was a Death Valley driver because she turned her full body into it.
Oh, they called it a Death Valley driver on the
enough.
Broadcast, so that's what I assued it was, but...
I don't know. I don't think I could trust the man who calls the Blue Thunder Bomb a what does he call it?
Michinoku driver.
Michinoku driver. Thank you. So I don't know if I can trust that team.
In Maggle's defense, I get confused with the Michinoku every once in a while. Not with the Blue Thunder Bomb. I just kind of forget what it is.
All right.
I don't know where Matt ran off to. I assume he's going to get another costume. I have one wardrobe. It's these.
So maybe let's talk about the two people because we should wrap up very soon. Let's talk about the two people that we are kind of shocked didn't show up. The two names being Becky Lynch, the man, someone we were all expecting to show up, and the one that was always a reach, but someone we were really hoping for, AJ Lee. Who were you more disappointed for? And were you actually expecting AJ to show up?
I don't expect AJ to show up like ever at this point. Everything I read about her is like she's very happy doing what she's doing, and I think her injury like doesn't really allow. Like from what I've read, I'm sure she's probably could, but it doesn't seem like she wants to, and that's cool. She's at home taking care of the dog, who's damn I can't remember off the top of my head. Larry, yeah, and okay, like. I miss her, obviously, but if she doesn't want to be here, then I mean, if she doesn't want to do it, then I'm not going to be clamoring for her. Politely go live your life and have a good time.
Go on, get out of here. We don't want you anyway.
No, I'm not like
I know. I'm kidding.
And then as for Bex, look, anytime Bex is not on my screen, I'm going to be disappointed. It's Becky motherfucking Lynch. I love that character to death.
Matt, I don't know if you heard what we were discussing. The two people who didn't show up, that there was a lot of speculation, AJ Lee and Becky Lynch.
Yeah, we talked about it in the group chat. I was like, the last three people, it's got to be those two, and then the outside chance Jade Cargill returns. So
shocked she didn't show up.
That would have been a very Cena-esque return, though, with the injury, I think, right?
But I don't think she's actually injured. I thought that was a storyline.
No, she got hurt. They had to write her out because she got hurt.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that. I thought it was a storyline injury only.
I thought it was like they didn't know. Like they couldn't really tell us, and there was varying reports. All I know is like she's taking very model-esque pics on Instagram. You know,
She's always taking model-esque pics on
But
Instagram.
not-
Have you seen her?
Yeah, fair.
Shout out Brandon Phillips.
not getting assaulted like on a car, but yeah, she's definitely sending out the thirst traps. Like, good for her. But like at the same time, it's just it's hard to sell an injury when it's just like, look at me, I'm living my best life and I haven't had a care in the world, and I've got this accent for some reason.
Don't think she sounds like that, but
You don't.
But hey,
it was a very good accent. It was a very good accent.
Bravo on the accent. We don't know who it was, but it was somebody.
I think
Absolutely marvelous, darling. Marvelous.
after my third
Roll
drink,
DeVille over here.
a really good Stone Cold impression, and it was like low key too. It wasn't like super loud or anything. It was like, you'll have to trust me on my brother-in-law's behalf.
What?
We'll talk about it later. But all right. Overall, is there any other highlights of the Women's Rumble that we want to discuss, or did we get go for it?
I was disappointed with the ending, not because Charlotte won, but because she wasn't willing to share the ring with Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez, we said, was the Iron Woman of tonight. She looked great. She did great. She had a lot of cool spots that were enjoyable. I think after Nia got eliminated, she should have been able to find her way back into the ring. She could have had that face-off with Charlotte the same way that John Cena had a face-off with Jey Uso, and that could have been like a picture moment. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, they take the stills. This will get shown in the future. This is like the thing that they signed the 8x10s of. Instead, it was just like, nope, Roxanne is on the apron. Charlotte's trying to eliminate her. Roxanne's trying to get back in. She's not able to get in. Charlotte beats her. Like, she's not even good enough to be in the same ring as Charlotte. It gave that kind of vibe. It was the vibe of, one, they want to protect Charlotte because they don't want people cheering for Roxanne Perez if they do a face-off in the ring. And two, Charlotte's ego won't let her share the ring with Roxanne, which I think is a shame because I think Roxanne is great. And despite what I think, maybe it was Bubba Ray Dudley was like, oh, she's so tiny, how could anyone believe her? It's like, Alexa Bliss is tiny and people love her, and she's on the main roster and she's done just fine for herself. Roxanne will do the same.
His brother is Spike Dudley. What the fuck?
What did I say?
No, you said Bully Ray, and I'm like, your brother is Spike Dudley. That guy made a career out of being small. Like, come on.
Very good point, James. So I think it was a shame that they didn't, even if they had like a quick interaction in the middle of the ring, I think that would have been cool and would have been a great moment for Roxanne and help, even elevate her further without taking away from Charlotte.
Yeah.
And whether that's the booking, whether that's Charlotte, regardless, I think it's a shame that we didn't get it. And also, fuck Bubba's gripe against small women
in general. Fuck Bubba, but no, I feel bad saying that. But regardless, might have been done to.
Okay, I don't like all of them.
Yeah, it might have been done to differentiate from the men's rumble because the final two in that. Go ahead, then, Rev. Go for it.
Oh no, I was just going to agree with it. Yeah, I just think they did it to do the endings of the rumbles differently. Like, I don't think that was a Charlotte call. Like, I know a lot of people have a lot of gripes about the way she spoke and everything, but I'm sure she has some power about the way she looks, but I don't think that was her call.
Just think, guys.
You don't.
Okay, good.
Oh, I was just like, yeah, I don't think she has the power, to call the end of the rumble that way. Like, that's a lot. So I agree with you, Matt. Like, I agree with you. I would have very much liked to see them on more equal footing so they could have that opportunity. But I agree with James. Like, I think it was just mostly because they wanted to differentiate, between the men's rumble ending and the women's rumble ending. And this was more of a quick shock finish as opposed to the two guys, or I would say the final two, just to be gender neutral there. It's the final two going at it 1v1 and ending up, with a winner there at the end.
I think they would have been different enough. The fact that the person we thought was going to win won the women's, but the person we thought that was going to win the men's. I don't understand what you're saying, but I feel like
it's a fair point.
Put through would have been different enough, and also would have given Roxanne that picture moment.
Yeah, it's a fair point. And I guess we also, if you kind of look at the dichotomy between the two, like, you have the established superstar winning one over the younger one. And I don't want to say Jey is a younger person, but you do have the, I could say, upstart winning over the much more established veteran, both of whom have almost the same amount of titles. I looked it up on Wikipedia, has her listed at 14. So either way, there was a nice dichotomy there. It was very interesting, but yeah, now Matt, you kind of want me gotten a little bit more, but I think I just overall I was just disappointed, and because it was Charlotte.
Yeah, but hey, there's a world where it was Tessa Blanchard. So
why would you even put that in the universe?
But hey, it's not. It was Charlotte. Yay!
I don't even want that for the future universe.
At worst, she's a snake politically backstage. She's not a fucking racist. So I'll take it.
In another world, not only was it Tessa Blanchard, but Tessa Blanchard single-handedly defeated Lash legends, Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jada Parker all at once.
Yeah.
I want to do two things before we close out on this. One, I do want to actually give some praise to Charlotte, despite the fact I'm upset that she was winning, because she did overcome a very devastating ACL injury. She hasn't been back in a very long time.
Still wearing a brace.
Yeah, she's wearing that. My brother was telling me about that brace. Apparently, I don't remember the name. I know a lot of wrestlers wear it, and a lot of people in football wear it. That's apparently a very expensive brace. And by God, if that girl didn't have it bedazzled.
Yeah.
But like, she came back again from a very devastating injury. She's been out for a long time. I am very happy she is back and healthy. And I don't know if you guys caught any of the press conference, but she was the first to go on. She was in character, being a little cocky and a little cagey about who she's going to challenge, but you could tell how emotional she was to be back and be wrestling and be in front of the crowd again. So, Charlotte, again, we don't like your booking, but congratulations. We're happy you're back. The other person I want to shout out is Chelsea Green. We're very big fans of Chelsea Green on this pod. She had a multitude of hilarious spots during this match with PFC, with Piper coming in and Piper accidentally eliminating her. There was a lot going on. She did a great job. I also very much liked Maxine Dupree and Avi Niles' spot.
I called it yesterday. I was like, Maxine's going to eliminate Ivy, and that's all I did. I didn't even care that she got eliminated 5 seconds later.
No, and that was the call. Like, she eliminated Ivy, and I went to her. I was like, she's out. And then, like, not by the time I finished the sentence, she was out of the match.
Yep.
So
Maxine get eliminated by PF Chang's?
Yes, by PF Chang's.
Oh my goodness.
It's funny, like PFC is a lot. It's a military thing. It's all the professional fighting championships, and then it's also what I don't even know what they are.
The Pure Fusion Collective.
Yeah, it's PFC is easier.
Yeah.
Shout out my buddy Josh, used to be PFC.
It's a little. I don't want to get yelled at.
Yeah, you're good. All right. So, real quick. Overall thoughts on the Rumble. I had a good time. I mean,
I did too.
This helps. But no, James, I thought it was a fun Rumble. We were talking the other day. The Rumble is the easiest access pay-per-view to have fun with.
Yeah.
And we got some good returns. Shit, we didn't even talk about Trish.
Yeah, not really. But
we mentioned her.
Yeah, we mentioned that she was back.
mentioned her, but Trish Stratus is back. 25th anniversary. Like, I'm sure that's going to be a thing. Keep an eye out for it, kids. But generally speaking, I had a lot of fun. The Rumbles were a good time. Charlotte, again, fine. Jey winning was great. I thought the Cody Owens match was awesome. The tag match was a little to be desired, but for the most part, very good pay-per-view. Didn't know it started at 6. So I think that's going to be my biggest gripe, is that maybe a little bit better on the, hey, what time is it starting? Because none of the publications knew.
Admittedly, when was the last time you watched a WWE program?
Today.
Yeah, there you go. So Congratulations to Nia Jax breaking the women's elimination record. 9 eliminations in the match.
Oh,
Awesome.
that's all up.
Good for her. She had a great spot where she eliminated a bunch of women at once. I thought that was fun. Congratulations on Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble. Didn't see it coming, and that's awesome. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, banger of a match. Kevin Owens continuing the streak of challenging at the Rumble and losing. And I'm just happy that the Machine Guns made it to a pay-per-view.
I think I heard, was it Roxy beat the
67 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is insane, by the way. We don't need these Iron Women. We don't need these Iron Men every fucking year. We talked about it yesterday on the prediction show. It's okay if somebody maxes out at like 30 minutes. That's okay. Like Cena and Jey being in the 30, 35 minutes and being the winner, I'm cool with that. It doesn't need to go that much longer. Yeah, good show. I enjoyed watching it.
Matt?
Yeah, I thought it was a solid show overall, and I didn't feel exhausted by 2 Rumbles that I have felt in years prior. I know we're split on the pod whether the Rumble should be a 2-night event or not.
We are not split. It is you against everybody.
Wait, that was a conversation that was
No.
We'll talk about it later. But moving on.
The answer is no. We're not going to have a conversation. No, we're good here tonight. Continue with your thoughts on the evening.
Great that Charlotte's back. I think she's incredibly talented. I like her a lot, even if I think she's booked in the main event too much. Like, she shouldn't have been in the main event of WrestleMania 35. I'll always stand by that. Other things about the women, I'm not sure why Stephanie Vaquer is not on the same level as Julia. Like, Julia is the NXT champion, women's champion. Stephanie Vaquer is going for the North American Championship. I know that's more NXT talk, but we don't cover NXT, so I figured I'd say it now.
You could if you want to, because Nick and Chad aren't doing it.
You won't have me watching NXT and then reviewing it. It's not worth it. I think tonight the men's and women's Rumbles were on par with each other as well. Well, as far as quality, the tag title match was a little bit of a dud, but it wasn't bad by any means. And I'm glad they're back on PLE. And last thing I'll say is that Jey, super huge surprise. If you're not into it, just let's see how it rides out. I mean, Bianca Belair, I think, was the last time we've had like a super huge surprise of a Rumble winner, and that turned out great. So I think, Jey doesn't have to be your favorite guy. He's not my favorite guy, but he's more than capable of delivering. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how everything moves forward as we get towards WrestleMania season, or I guess we are now officially in WrestleMania season. They pointed at the sign. It's WrestleMania season. If the groundhog sees his shadow. So I'm honestly, I'm really looking forward to see what they end up doing with both Charlotte and Jey. I have a little more trepidation about Charlotte and a lot more intrigue about Jey. Yeah. And then I think, we had the other 2 matches, and I guess we have our answers with those. So
sucks to suck, Gunther. Didn't make it.
Yeah, interesting. Like, he didn't even appear at all.
He was on the pre-show. He showed up on the pre-show, but
he talked his shit.
The women's title match, titles weren't on the line, so
And I think that's a bummer too. I think you could have had one, but I get it. Keeping it as short as possible.
I do. I admittedly appreciate Triple H trying to keep these pay-per-views. I'm not calling them PLAs. I'm sorry. Keeping these pay-per-views short. Like, there was a big complaint for years and years and years.
Wait, hold on. What, Matt?
Just like we should be trying to keep our podcast short. We should end in a minute and 15.
Oh no, we were supposed to end like 28 minutes ago, but
but we could still try. For Producer Boy, we're gonna end it in under 2 hours.
Yes, no, we will. Now I'm purposely gonna go over.
Please don't.
I'm kidding. You know what? Well, I lost my train of thought. So on that note,
if Charlotte doesn't defeat Tiffy, that's at Mania. That's all I have to say. I'm good.
All I was saying was I was looking forward to where everybody's going from here, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, I would like to thank everybody here so much for watching the Market Down podcast. We'd appreciate it if you like to subscribe. If you like the video, lets us know that you enjoy what you're doing, and that we're doing. Excuse me, and and sorry, lost
You okay? I got it. Thank you so much for checking us out here at the Market Down Podcast. Here for your usual follower, if you're a regular follower, thank you for sticking around with us. You know the party, you know the fun we have. If you're new and you're checking us out for the first time, thank you so much. Don't know what brought you here, but hey, I hope you enjoyed it. And please hit that follow button. Now it's not happening. Please hit that follow button and make sure you stick around. The party is going to continue. Hit that like button so we know we did something right. Of course, as we said, check out that social media. As always, watch wrestling. As always, have a good night. Take us home.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.